Hello everyone, welcome to this video. In this particular video, I'm starting a new series where I'm going to cover every single topic that you need to study for AZ303 exam. So I have done a lot of labs, but this is time that I give you the theory that you need to be able to understand everything. So this particular one, this lab, this video, in this lecture, I'm going to cover the configure diagnostic setting on resources. Okay, that comes under implement infrastructure, cloud infrastructure monitoring. So I prepared this little notes for myself because this is a little bit confusing at times. Okay, and the reason being, you have multiple different kinds of logs, and then some of the names that has been changed over time. So one thing that you will notice that you have something known as the activity log, then something known as diagnostic logs, which is now changed to resource logs, and something else we also have is Azure Active Directory log. This you probably won't see too much, but there are system level logs also that requires an agent. Okay, so let's first at least understand these three: resource logs, Azure Active Directory logs, and activity log. Okay, so activity log, think about three different layers. Okay, activity log works on the subscription. So any operations you are doing on your subscription, it's going to monitor everything. Okay, so every subscription, they have one activity log, only one activity log for each Azure subscription. And resource manager, you will learn about it. So resource manager, any activity that you are performing using the resource manager, all those activities are being tracked in this activity log, and it will tell you what happened, who did that, and when, for any write operations, put, post, or delete. So this is like from outside the resource. So you are not going inside the resource, you are staying on the control plane, and you are looking at what is happening. Okay, so this is activity log. So you are looking from outside, you are trying to answer what happened, who did that, and when it happened. Now coming down to resource logs, they used to be known as the diagnostic logs, and it's a little bit confusing. Resource log, I think it makes more sense and a little bit better to understand. So now resource log means anything that's going inside your resource. Okay, so outside your resource is activity log, inside your resource is the resource log or the diagnostic log. And there's another type of log that works at the tenant level, and that is Azure Active Directory log. So I would highly recommend that you go to this particular URL. So just go there and just take a look at the documentation that says overview of the Azure platform logs. And as I mentioned, these are the three main type of log that we have right now. The resource log also called the data plane. Okay, and the activity log, it's called the management plane log. Okay, and this is really nice diagram that I also highly encourage that you guys understand. So you have again the three major resource logs, activity log, and the Azure Active Directory log. Where do they go? They can go to multiple places. Azure portal, you can see everything together, and you can send it to logs, storage account, event hubs. And even from here you can send it all those logs to non-Azure destinations. Okay, now here are some, like the same thing, there is some more explanation what it is and how you do that. And before we do too much, so how do you look at the activity log? So let's go back to our notes, see if we're missing anything. So we have explained that one. So we have also mentioned that you have export the data to a storage, event hub, or Azure Monitor Logs. Now let's actually take a look at how you turn on the diagnostic logs, because if you do not turn on, you are not going to see anything. Okay, so the way I'm go to my Azure. Okay, so I'm just going to search for activity log to begin with. Okay, so if you see activity log comes up as a service, so I can click on this one. So if I click on it, it's going to take me to the activity log section, and just give it a second, and if you look at it, it's got whole bunch of log for me today. So it's got 23 logs. And if you look at it, it's saying it's like create deployment, health event resolve, register subscription, generate key pair, register subscription, okay, update website. So these are the logs, that activity log that I told you that on the management plan. Okay, so it's nothing that's inside, it's who did that, status, now when it happened, what subscription, and who did that. Okay, so that is what it's. So there is one that was caused by the Azure Traffic Manager. Rest of them it's by this user, which is, by the way, I am. So here you can also quickly come here and take a look at the quick insight. That's a really nice feature. If you click on it, it's quickly tell you, do we have any major errors in last 24 hours? So looks like we had 2 major errors. No failed deployments, or deployment went well. No Azure alert that was activated by an alert activated event. Service health is no alert related to that, and role assignment no problem. Okay, you can download the whole data if you like. It will save as a CSV file, and you can look at it, prepare your report, do whatever you want with it. You can add additional filter if you want to go to a particular, say, resource group and only want to see the logs for a particular resource group to give you a better view. You can do that. You can also choose it by resource type. Okay, so this resource, so say Ubuntu. Okay, so what's happening with my Ubuntu event? Okay, so I can go to that level as well to see different type of log. Okay, so that's a really cool feature, and you should understand and kind of remember. So if you click on the log, it's giving me this big nice window. Logs, you have to set up a log analytics. Right now I do not have any log analytics set up, so I don't have anything, but you can go to diagnostic settings and configure the data. Okay, so that's one way to get to your activity logs. Another way to go to activity log is also through Azure Monitor. Okay, so you can go and click on Monitor. Okay, Monitor is like a full featured, a centralized location for all of your logs, be it resource log or activity logs or any other type of logs. So just give it a second or a minute maybe. It's taking a little bit of time to load. Usually it does not take that long. It just usually comes up just like that. So by the way, the CSV is downloaded that we just wanted to download. Alright, let me try one more time. Just click on Monitor, see if that helps. Come on, Azure. So again, so let's recap what we have done. So activity log, management pane outside, resource log inside, and the Active Directory log, they are completely related to your tenant. Okay, so we are within Monitor. So over here, if you look at the different blades, you have the activity log defined here as well. So you can click here and you should get the same experience. Okay, you have additional stuff in here, but this view is what we just saw from the activity log experience. The same thing, the same add filter if you want. You can do all that stuff, download as CSV and reset filter and all that kind of good stuff. Okay, now from here you can additionally, what you can do, the diagnostic settings is where you can centrally manage what kind of diagnostics you want to enable or disable. Okay, so like here, so I'm within Monitor, I'm down to the diagnostic setting, and it looks like there are 3 different resources that could use the diagnostic, but it's disabled, it's not enabled. So until you have the diagnostic enabled, you won't be able to get any logs, what's going on inside this resource. Okay, so let's maybe look at the Ubuntu IP. Say I want to enable diagnostic for the IP address. Okay, so if you click on it, and this experience is also pretty similar to all others. So here you'll just say add diagnostic settings, and it's going to read what they're saying. Diagnostic settings are used to configure streaming export of platform logs and metrics for a resource to the destination of your choice. It may create up to 5 different diagnostic settings to send different logs and metrics to independent destinations. And over here they're also saying click diagnostic setting above to configure the collection of the following data. So it's telling you what you can collect about this particular resource. So you can collect DDoS protection notifications, DDoS mitigation flow logs, DDoS migration reports, and all metrics. Any other metrics will all be included. So let's click on add diagnostic setting and let's see what happens. So here you see logs and metrics, they're two different things. Okay, so logs, let's enable those logs. Metrics, let's enable all metrics. Now here you also have to provide a name, say maybe IP diagnostic logs. So that's gonna be the diagnostic setting name for this particular IP diagnostic logs. And here where you need to configure your destination, so you can send it to a log analytics. Again, I do not have a log analytics workspace, so I'm not going to create this one right now. So let's remove that. But I do have a storage account. So if you select the storage account, it's going to ask how long do you want to store. Okay, so you can probably store up to 999. Okay. So I said 1000, it says the value must be, and then it's nothing there, it's hard to read. So that's another bug probably. So let's try 999. This is also not acceptable. So I don't know the maximums. If I say 10, see it's available. Try 100, is it available? Yeah, it's still available. I thought it's 999 for some reason, but it's probably not. But somewhere between 100 and 999. 500 is also not acceptable. So what about 200? Yeah, 200. So 300, 365. That's a good number. So 365 is there. So 366 is not. So it looks like 365 is your max. Look at that. We are so smart. We figured out how long you can store the logs in Azure environment at this time. So let's see the other one. So if we want, can we go to 365? Yes, we can. Can we go up to 365 here as well? We can. All metrics, can we do that? Well, actually we were really dumb. It's already telling over here the retention is only applies to storage account. Retention policy ranges from 1 to 365 days. If you do not want to apply the retention policy and retain data forever and retain the data forever, set retention days to 0. Look at that. So 0 means it was going to retain your data forever. So it was not gonna delete it. It will be on your shoulder to go and clean up your data. I'll just keep it. I'll just make it 1, or maybe 10 days is good enough for me. Okay, to keep the data in my storage account. I don't want any more. So 10 days is good. Okay. So we have configured that, and I already have a storage account with that. I'm going to choose. If you can stream to a event hub if you like. Again, I do not have an event hub right now. We'll have a lab later where we configure that, but that's about it. So now I have configured diagnostic settings for the IP resource. Now our diagnostic setting is not available for everything. Okay, so do save. So let's save that particular diagnostic setting. So now we have done this, okay, from the monitor. Okay, let's go back to diagnostic setting one more time and just to refresh it over here. So that says 1. I'm just going to go back to some other blade, and I'm just going to go back to the diagnostic setting one more time. So now if you see, it says Ubuntu IP is now enabled. Okay, you can do the same thing for the network interface, network NSG. So let's do network NSG, and just so over here it's gonna tell you that there are 2 different things that you can actually. Let's actually take that and put it what we can actually get the logs for. Okay, so that way when I give you my video, you have some little notes in there too. So if I click on diagnostic setting, you will see there are only 2 options. Like see here, metric is not available. So metric is another parameter that we can that's not available for all of the resources. That's only available for some resources. Let's just enable these two. Archive to a storage account. Let's do the same thing here. Let's say 0, it's fine. So let's save all of this forever, and I'm just gonna call it NSG diagnostics. Okay, all right, then save. And so now I have configured that one as well. Go back to our diagnostics setting, and so this is good. So let's go back over here, go back somewhere else, and I'm gonna come back to this one again, So now two of them are enabled, our diagnostic setting. Let's even configure our IP address diagnostic. So in this one, for network interface card, it's this is what we can configure. Here we can only configure metrics. Okay, so this is diagnostic setting for network NIC. So this is for NIC. Okay, you gotta remember what you're doing. And this was for NSG. Okay, so those are the two things that we already figured out. So if you click on this, all metrics to the same thing, archive to storage account, and name it. So NIC diagnostic. Okay, so I'll just gonna no discard, I just want to save it. So now we are saving it. So now we have let's go back to diagnostic setting and go to somewhere else and come back over again. I want to make sure all three of them are now enabled. Okay, now over here you have more things under insights. I'm not gonna go there, but I want to do some more things. We are still not done yet. So you can enable your diagnostic directly inside your resource as well. So let's go to storage accounts. Let's see if we have any storage accounts available to us. And there we go. So I have one storage account. So if you click on that storage account for a lot of resources, you will see this diagnostic setting. Let's see if we can find it. There we go. So this is now showing up as classic. Okay, so if you click on that, what you see, you can see that you have all these things. Again, you have the metrics, and this time this is the hour metric, minute metrics, and that you can collect. So let's how many days you want to keep the data? 7. Okay, enable even minute metrics. So the hour metric was already enabled, minute metric was not, we just enabled. And logging, do you want to enable logging? Yeah, why not? Read, write, delete data after 7 days. Okay, so we have done that. And notice that for storage account, since we have different type of storage account that can be created under a storage account, we have to go to each of them to enable them. Like even for file, hour metrics are enabled, minute metrics are not, so you can enable. Now another thing, logging, you see that's only available for blobs, not available for file. It's also available for table as well. Okay, read, write, delete, enable minute metrics. For queue as well, it is available. So it's not available for the file you're logging, but everything else is available. So all you need to do is here at this time click on save, and you have everything enabled. Let's look at even an app service maybe. Let's see if you have kind of similar experience with another resource. So here again I'm going to search for diagnostic setting. You see it's coming up over here, so let's click on that one, and look at that. Here saying similar type of experience, right? This, if you click on that one, we will be able to configure all of these things. So let's put it back here in our notes. Okay, so that is for apps, or say web apps. Okay, so let's click on that one and see if we have kind of the similar view. And here again, metric, let's say only HTTP log is what we're interested in, and again archives to storage account, everything the same. Which storage account? This one, I do not have a storage account in that region, so we may have to create a storage account. So let's discard this one. But we can, if we want to, we can. We just have to create another storage account for this one, but let's not worry about it for now. Yes. Okay, so last thing, we want to look at a VM real quick, and then I think you have enough idea now how to configure your activity and diagnostic log. So let's go to this Ubuntu machine that I have. Let's see if I have a diagnostic setting even in here, and look at that. Under monitoring, we do have the diagnostic setting, and here enable guest level monitoring. You can do that. Okay, that's update diagnostic setting, and it's gonna enable Azure monitoring that will collect all host level metrics like CPU utilization, disk and network usage for all virtual machines without any additional software. So that's pretty cool, right? Azure monitoring, if you enable that. For more insights into this virtual machine, please collect guest level metrics, logs and other diagnostic data using Azure Diagnostic Agent. Okay, so let's it's just getting the deployment is going on, so just give it a minute, and it will deploy everything, and then you have successfully turned on everything. So let's see if there's anything else we need to cover. So we went over your storage account, we talked about activity logs, resource log, and Azure Active Directory logs. You don't have to worry about it too much. Just remember that anything that you work on your Active Directory, when you created your account, your default tenant, this default directory was created by Azure, and anything that you do on that, they will be stored as part of the Azure Active Directory log. Let's see what else. Okay, I'm going to give you another document link. That is, if you want to look at the activity log, I have already shown you how to do that in this video. If you want to do some more stuff and you want to use the log to do some custom queries, just go through this particular link, and it will have more examples. Okay, how to configure different things for activity log. For resource log, it has more configuration that you can do over here, and I think for diagnostic setting, it has got more documentation as well. You know what you can do, and how to set event hubs, how to create an event hub and workspace and all that kind of good stuff. All right, I think, but for the exam, I think that's a good start. Just play with it, turn on your diagnostic, take a look at your activity log, your diagnostic log, and have fun. Good luck with the exam, and thank you for watching the video. If you like it, please give me a thumbs up, subscribe, and leave your comments. Thank you.